Hello and welcome to episode 307 of the UK Steelers podcast. You're joined by me, Mark Hanson. No Simon Winstanley this week, but I am joined, as always, by Gavin Marshall and by Ketz. How are we doing, gentlemen?
Not too bad. The bootleg era continues for now. No progress on the Spotify, unfortunately.
Nothing as of yet, no, but thank you very much for all of your support when we dropped that news, and thank you to everyone who's watched 306 on YouTube. Maybe this is technically episode 2, as Ket said, just before we started. But yes, the bootleg era carries on, and how are you doing, Kets, in the new bootleg era?
Very good. Shout out to the 12 people that have managed to listen to us. No, I'm only kidding. We've had some good comments and stuff, actually. So it's nice that people are actively going out of their way and being inconvenienced by the corporate monstrosity that is Spotify in order to listen to our dulcet tones ramble on about deep off-season football. So much appreciated to everyone listening.
Yeah, I think we started a trend as well, because I've seen a couple of bands are now dropped off Spotify recently. I think there's another kind of wave of Spotify hate going out there. So I think Size started something here.
I was going to say the corporate monstrosity that we're desperately hoping to get back onto.
Yeah, exactly. Swings and roundabouts in this thing, isn't it? But who aren't monstrous or monstrosities is our show producers. And our show producers this month are Jason, trying not to forget the group, but increasingly wrapped up in Britball Bowdler, Rob Ferguson, Teenage Mutant Ninja Dave Hart, Glenn Jones, Matt Audley, Steve Williams, Ian Ferrugia, Christian Robb, Thomas Fielding, Joe Pearson, our resident food correspondent, Christopher Anderson, Philip Williams, Laura Casey, Michael Coonahan, Paul Fielden, the obscenely handsome Lee Matthews, and the Aussie Storm Galileo West.
Thanks to those wonderful producers.
And we also want to give a big shout out on the Facebook group to Nick O'Rourke, who kind of aired his concerns over the podcast disappearing on Spotify. We led him over the way, and he showed his support, and I'm sure he had a listen on YouTube. So if you're listening to this as well, thank you very much, Nick, for that support. So I think we should just probably get cracking straight on. There's only a couple of little bit of news items, but there is obviously one major talking point that we missed out from. We just missed out from last week because we recorded just before it happened as Sod's Law, and then obviously the episode came out after. But the big news of the week: TJ Watt, a 3-year, $123 million extension. $108 million guaranteed, $40 million sign-in bonus, an average annual salary of $41 million, which is $1 million more than Myles Garrett gets a year. That's obviously been done on purpose. 2025 cap charge of just over $23 million as well. I think we sort of felt this was coming. I don't think anybody... there were rumblings of trades potentially, but I think ultimately the team... we're going to get this done. Jerry Dulac reported that Mike Tomlin was the driving force in getting it done before camp. So I guess, what are your thoughts on this? Gav, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on the major, massive TJ extension?
Well, I think the Steelers are officially your 2025 off-season paper champions now, right? They have won the off-season Super Bowl, no? Everything's fallen into place. They've got the franchise quarterback, TJ signed, all of the talent, Jalen Ramsey, DK Metcalf. They're now gone from being an also-ran to a contender. So that's exactly where you want to be in the offseason, isn't it? So I think this move cements it. I hope it means that they are confident that last year was a blip, maybe a little bit of fitness or injury related combined with some scheme problems maybe. And we're hoping that TJ can get back in there and make some splash plays and make a real impact and have this see out this contract in a fitting way, but at least he's going to be a one helmet guy. I think the phrase is, just sounds a bit weird to us, but that's the real thing, isn't it? He's not going to go off and play for the Cardinals or the Titans or something, ultimately depressing. So no. It's good news. It's good news. Let's just hope he is who we think he is.
Yeah, exactly. No R sound drop, unfortunately. We haven't got Simon here, so I can't couldn't drop that in for you there. Thank you. There it is. But I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with this. It's a lot of money, yes, but TJ has just been that player for us, really. He's that talisman on the defense. I think there's so much more than just a player that we've got here. We've locked down a leader. We've locked down, a key cog of this defense for another 3 years. He is 30 years old. We are looking, he's not old by any stretch of the imagination, and I do think you can still do good things in your early 30s in this league, even as a pass rusher. He will be having one eye on the future in a sense, but at the same time, I still think he's got enough to be an absolute smash mouth player for us for the next couple of years. Ketz, I'm intrigued to get your thoughts on this because I know that you had slightly different thoughts when the news first came out. I just want to know if those thoughts are still here and kind of where you are at with this TJ deal.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of irrelevant what I say now, but 108 million's a lot of guaranteed money, but equally they've got no one else really to pay because of the draft failures that they've had over the last few years. 3 years, I think, is about the right length if we're going to do it. At least we've done it for that amount of time, and we've not necessarily tied ourselves in for like a full 5 years or something. But the injury does worry me. The age, edge rushers, especially fast twitch edge rushers like TJ is, are known to decline and sometimes fall off a cliff. But, hopefully I know nothing and he has a really successful 3 years, generates, 20 sacks a season. And, he's earned it over the years, hasn't he, to be fair? It's just a case of, I just don't like it from a team building standpoint. I'd rather we get a bit younger at the position. And, that's why I was interested in what we could potentially get from a trade perspective. But no, he's there now. So, support the badge, essentially, I guess, is my position on it now.
Support the badge and support the badger in in that respect. But it's not. We're still not terribly old at that position. I mean, you've got Nick Herbig and Jack Sawyer waiting in the wings as well, to kind of be mentored by TJ as well. You know how Nick Herbig's kind of been glued to TJ for this time, and I'll get on to training camp points in a bit. But the four of them. The three of them, TJ, Jack Sawyer, and Nick Herbig, all came out together today, and we're kind of almost joined at the hip together throughout this. So I think that's only beneficial for Jack Sawyer. We've already seen the benefits of it for Nick Herbig, so that's exciting for them. And then you've still got a guy like Alex Highsmith on the other side of TJ. It just it solidifies probably the strongest position that we have, almost inarguably the strongest position we have on this entire team, and our front seven is lauded, across the league, and it's going to remain that way because of just how strong we are and how we've maintained it with TJ's re-signing there. I don't think there's too much else to say about it. I mean, I don't know if either of you have got any sort of additional points about it and kind of extra thoughts.
No, I'm just hoping to see some balls punched out.
Yeah,
exactly. I've missed that. The backside pursuit, the ball punch out, the dip and rip. Let's see him get to the quarterback, not just get near the quarterback this year. But I'm confident he can. Let's have a bounce back.
Yeah, a lot of peanut punches, please, TJ. That would be great.
Yeah, I loved all that. The hooks and the uppercuts. I think that's how I'm going to remember him. I think that's what I'll remember.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully we can remember more of them to come. And I just think back to last year and, my concerns about Cam. And yes, Cam's a fair bit older than TJ, but, my concerns of him coming off an injury and giving him an extension that I wasn't quite sure about. And then, the year he had last year completely proved me wrong. So, I don't want to be the guy who kind of thinks that might be the same, might be what happens with TJ, and then he suddenly just goes and has another wonder season. I fully believe in TJ, and he looked half decent in camp. Like it's early days in training camp, and you can't really tell too much from it. But looked sharp, looked healthy. So that's really promising.
Exciting, isn't it? With all the camps kicking off, all the little, you forget what it's like these first early days where suddenly all the Twitter stream is full of actual football practices. It's fun, isn't it?
It is really, and that's exactly what I was coming onto now. Is just kind of a brief rundown of what happened because it was the first full day of training camp for the Steelers today. Interesting enough, we talked last week about would Rodgers do the whole Latrobe experience. Aaron Rodgers arrived a day early to stay in the dorms. So I think he's fully embracing it. I think we're talking about that kind of different side of Aaron Rodgers. Would he actually really enjoy this? I think that is the case. And apparently he and DK Metcalf are sweet mates. So
there you go.
That's a sitcom right there.
Yeah.
That's that'll be a very interesting room to be a part of. I don't think that'll be the party room. I don't think that's where people are going to go to have the best time. But I think
the blunt rotation.
That's just going to be a chill room, I think, up there. In some interesting thoughts being tossed around there. Just some kind of thoughts. I've kind of followed Alex Kozora all day on this in terms of what was happening with practice. 90 out of 91 people going into the day healthy. Isaac Sayamalu has a soft tissue issue. That is kind of he's day to day with that, and we'll see when he kicks into training camp, which is obviously a little bit of a concern, but it's nothing really serious. So hopefully it's not going to be too detrimental to us. Spencer Anderson jumped in there, taking first team reps in his place. We didn't really get any Jonnu Smith partway through. He and Cordero Patterson apparently had some heat-related issues that kind of kept them out because it was quite a warm day there. I'm guessing.
Do you not just forget that Cordero Patterson is on this roster?
As soon as I saw that news, I was like, "Oh my god, he's still on this team!" I completely forgot because he just took nothing. Like I think he may have taken some kick return reps potentially. I can't remember, but yeah, it's just. How is he still on this team? It's wild, really. I don't think he's going to make the 53 at all.
I guess he can run the ball.
But the fact that he's still here in the 90 is quite surprising to me, and I don't know why that is, but there you go. So, kind of the key things to pick out on training camp here. Aaron Rodgers, first play of 11 on 11, throws a pick straight to Patrick Queen. Fabulous. Twitter did not overreact to that whatsoever. It just looks like he didn't see Patrick on the route and just threw it into his hands. Otherwise, I don't see too many complaints about Rodgers' play. It's first day of training camp. There's no pads. Let's not panic, everybody. Just yet. TJ was moving around a fair bit, which I think a lot of people wanted to see, lining up in different areas in that front. So that's really interesting to see. We'll see if there's more of that and if that translates into game. I think we were hoping to see a little bit more of that. Jalen Ramsey was incredibly versatile, took like 3 different positions in the first 5 snaps. Lined up all over the shop in the secondary. So that's really interesting to see. Another thing that, that's the reason we brought this guy in, it feels like. So hopefully the versatility there is paying off and we see more of that going forward. Couple of people who impressed. Caleb Johnson was impressive out of pads. He was finding holes and really, really looking dominant. So that's really good. And Derek Harmon looked good as well. So that a good day for the rookies by the sounds of it. Particularly those two, both seem to be impressing early on. And the only other note, my sleeper safety, Quindell Johnson, got the other pick of the day. What a dog. What a dude.
Is he the backup safety? Free safety?
He could well be at this point. I think he really is. But, I mean, he picked off Skylar Thompson, so let's not, read too much into it.
Oh, boy, we're in trouble.
We're not in trouble. It's fine. I know your boy Julian Blackman's now with the Saints, Gav, so, you're sad about that. But, if it gets too bad, Justin Simmons is waiting in the wings. I'm just saying. But not really much else. First day of camp, couple of interesting points, but nothing too serious. We'll see how it goes on. Hopefully the heat goes down so players can actually go in there. But I'm just glad we kind of came out of it healthy. There's not really anything serious to kind of worry about out of the first day, and hopefully by this time next week, when we've had a full week of practices, we're saying the same thing. But anybody kind of got any other notes on the first day?
Yes. Training camp, preseason. 4 words: don't believe the hype.
Very, very true. Very true.
A lesson I've learned watching football over the years. None of it matters until week 1.
Don't believe the hype.
That's the one. Don't believe the hype indeed. Yeah, it's practice, guys. Come on.
Yes,
JJ Watt
don't
had a
buy
very
into
passionate tweet about that.
yeah, don't buy into we're going to win the Super Bowl. Don't buy into we're going to be the first pick overall. It's none of it matters yet.
Come on, man. It's hype season. Plus, yes, all right. Don't believe the hype necessarily, but I do think it's good to get more information. Like we're
Yes. Oh,
getting,
100%.
from months of just talk. Now we're getting actual football and reps, and we can see pecking orders. For instance, we're seeing that Will Howard's running fourth team at the moment, and he's going to
Yes.
have to work his way up. So that's information. That's telling us what the Steelers think. Skylar Thompson is taking reps ahead of him at the moment. So that's good. That's healthy competition. Do we want that to be where we are at the end of training camp? No, but that's where we are now. So it's good to see and absorb all this stuff, I think.
And Sebastian Castro was taking second team reps today as well. So that's very interesting. On top of that, the UDFA. So, we have high hopes about Castro making this 53, and I think that's a very positive outlook for him if he's already into the second team reps. I know safety's somewhat thin, shall we say, at the moment, but
Yeah, someone posted on our draft coverage video of Sebastian Castro today. He plays like you, was the comment. Now I assume the commenter meant the Steelers, not us, but I'm not sure.
I would
Maybe he
hope
plays
so,
like us.
yeah, because hopefully he doesn't have a Simon Winstanley 2-inch vertical. But
But did you see the photo? I don't know if you watched the photo reel of the YouTube video. Simon's 3-point stance in those photos at the wedding was impressive, I thought.
that is an impressive stance. Yeah, I've actually got that for some weird reason saved as a sticker on my phone. I don't know why. I must have been planning to use it at some point. But
That'll come in
ready.
use.
In the meme folder, ready to go.
that's in the meme folder, 100%. So yeah, that's camp. Yeah, we'll see how it goes from there. Caleb Johnson's actually said that he's going to be training with Lev Bell as well. I think this is very interesting and very positive. I think
Talking about blunt rotations.
Exactly. I mean, it's great for one thing that Lev Bell seems to have really patched all this thing with the Steelers now. I mean, he's been doing the tailgate stuff, and he looks like he's put all that kind of issue behind him. Shame he couldn't do it at the time, but there you go. But what a mentor and what a kind of training kind of coach to have for Caleb Johnson. I think that's really good.
I'm a bit split on this one, I've got to say, because
okay.
what was it that what's the like the cliche thing about Lev Bell? Patience. And why did his patience work? Because of his vision. His vision was fantastic, wasn't it? I'm not sure you can teach that. I'm not sure that's something you can really. I mean, what do you get from a veteran? You get how to prepare, how to be professional. You don't get how to be me. So, and I know there are comps with those two, and it's great to have a mentor, but I'm not sure how much that's going to help Caleb. I don't know, but yeah, it can't be a bad thing.
No, I don't think it's going to hinder him. That's the thing. I think it's either he takes in info and he's kind of like, okay, well, sort of knew
Unless
that, but at
Caleb
least
holds out the end of his rookie deal, then we'll know.
well, yeah, that could be the negative spin.
I'm doing it for the running backs.
Yeah. Oh God, let's not have that again. But yeah, no, I just thought it was very interesting. I think it could work out in his favor. He wants to work on his blocking as well, which is another point that he
now
works with Caleb.
that is something that Lev Bell was good at. He was a very good pass blocker. So that is something that can be taught.
Yeah,
little
absolutely.
tricks and tips and how to pick up.
Not something he said that he had to do a lot of at Iowa, which is surprising, really. But he said he didn't have to do a whole lot of that, so he just wants to kind of up that game. So that's good.
So that's good. So I didn't know that bit of information. So that is positive. So forget everything I said, as you were.
Yeah, exactly. Not really anything to kind of take away from press conferences. Omar Khan kind of said that he was happy the way the team is, but hasn't ruled out additions. Standard fare there. So nothing really to take away from him or Tomlin's press conference. The only other thing before we kind of go into the main segment here, the throwback uniforms for week 8. This has caused a lot of divisive comments amongst everybody in Steelers fandom. The yellow helmets, the 1933 inspired jerseys with the big block numbers on the front and the Pittsburgh City logo in the corner, and what color would you say? Is it beige pants? Are we saying here? Is that a beige? Is that a?
It's kind of a beige, yeah.
Yeah, an off cream, yeah, sort of thing there. my ratings from kind of bottom to top here: pants 4 to 5 out of 10, jersey 8 out of 10, helmets 10 out of 10, bordering on 11 out of 10. I love those helmets; they're amazing. I really like the jersey. I understand that you might think it might be a bit busy with the stripes underneath the block numbers. I don't hate it. I think it just looks really cool, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't think it looks like a German third division football team. I think it just looks like a really cool jersey, cool throwback jersey. Not too keen on the pants. If they were black, I think I would be well on board with that. But it is what it is, and I get the kind of historic implications of
Yeah,
it.
it's a throwback.
Exactly. Yeah, I love it altogether. Like, I'm probably going to get that jersey. I'm not going to lie. But what are your thoughts on the jersey?
I like the helmet. I like the pants. This is sounding weird, but I don't like the jersey. My initial reaction was cool, and then the stripes. It looks like the zebras. It looks like a ref shirt to me. I didn't like that. It's just a bit busy. I would have just simplified it, removed a few bits, made it cleaner. Like from behind, the yellow looks cool, but it's just those black stripes underneath the numbers don't do it for me. But yeah, the helm top and the pants, cool.
Kets?
I really like it. I'm not sure about the pants, but I think the jersey, I really like it. The helmet, I really like it as well. So, yeah, similar boat to you, Mark, in that I'm hovering over that order button, trying to argue with myself why not to buy it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's going to be
We've
my
had a
new
few
pen.
divisive things this week, haven't we? We've had that, and we've had socks with sliders. Let's not get into that, but that's divided the podcast crew, and there's been a rift.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like I'm very much in the minority on that, but yeah, let's not get into that because I don't think I'm going to win out this argument somewhat.
You're against it. I'm very much for it. They're just drawing the battle lines, but we'll come back onto that.
That was another training camp nugget. Come on, Roman Wilson, what are you doing? But
please like, subscribe, and comment below as to your socks with sliders thoughts. Yes or no?
Yeah, are you for or against? Please be against. Anyway, main segment of the show time. I didn't even introduce this at the top of the show, but this is the big one: the annual quarterback quiz.
And now on the UK Steelers podcast.
It's quiz time. We've done this every year. Like, we've got loads of results here, back all the way back to 2020, the first off season. I'm not going to go back into all the winners, but can you remember who won last year?
Was it Mike who won last year, or was it Ketz?
It was you, Mark, you old humble old
I
dog
won?
there.
What?
You won, yeah, by 1 point.
Bloody hell.
It was Ketz and Mike. They drew, and you pipped by 1 point. So well done, reigning champion. We're going to have to see what happens here. Now,
formal petition for this to be renamed the Eastern Stick UKSP Quiz of the Year.
That is up for debate. I think that was 2023. That was a great episode. However, that would remove the relevance of the music, which for me is important. So we'll see. But it can be that. It can be in brackets: quarterback turnabout quiz, brackets Eastern Stick. Because the point of this, and this really isn't about you guys or the listener. This is about me, because I like every year to go through all of the quarterback changes, because it's yes, we all know the starters, but the shuffling, the guys that leave the league, the new guys that come in, the guys that come in at third string, they move around, maybe never get a start, and then they're gone. I just like to keep track of that. And this is a great way of me doing that for myself. But it's fun. We've got a little format that we're going to run through. So we're going to start off with some early questions to get some points, and then we're going to get into some survivor rounds and all sorts. But I'll talk us through. But okay, let's get into it. Thank you. Welcome to the 2025 QB Turnabout Quiz. Okay, so first of all, we're going to set the order with the order of joining the pod. Now, Ketz, I believe you were before Mark. Is that right? Correct. Right. So we're going to go into a quick fire round. Here we go. Okay, you ready? You guys ready? Now, you've been allowed to do as much research as you want, but now you're not allowed to look at any depth charts. You promised me, right?
Promise.
Not looking at any depth charts. Okay, good. Right. Ketz, what we're going to do, we're going to go through how many got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 quick questions. 1 point per question. You've got to get, if there's multiple answers, you've got to get them both. If you don't get it right, then the other guy can steal, and we're going to alternate. Okay, Kets, can you name me? There's 2 teams with 2 rookies. You can actually get a point for both answers here. 2 teams with 2 rookie quarterbacks on them. Go.
2 rookies. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I'll pass to Mark, see if he's got any idea.
Is that a pass? Okay.
That's a pass.
Well, I
There's
know
2
one
teams in the league with 2 rookie quarterbacks.
I know one is the Cleveland Browns. Who's the other one? Going through them. The other one would be the.
It's not easy.
No, it's not. Because I would have.
I'm going to give you a quick countdown because we're going to keep moving because this is a
Oh
quick fire round.
God!
God!
Is it the Jets?
No,
Didn't think so. Go.
it's the Saints. The
Oh,
Saints.
cool. No. Well, actually, who's the other one? Oh, I don't know who the other one is.
Well, I won't tell you.
No,
Actually,
don't
in
tell
case
me.
it comes
Yeah,
up later. I will tell you. I will tell you later. I will fill you in later if the Saints don't get chosen as a team for one of the later rounds. It will become clear for the listeners.
Yes.
Okay. 2, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
There is 1 unchanged quarterback room from last year. Do you know the team?
Ooh, one unchanged. Definitely not us. No, I think they got somebody in as well. I'm going to go with I believe, I don't remember them making any moves. Is it the Green Bay Packers? No, okay, they made a
Kets, do
move.
you want to steal?
Is it the Cowboys?
It's the Rams. Okay, Kets. What team is Jake Brisket on?
Jake Brisket. Nope, I can't think off the top of my head.
Mark?
The Arizona Cardinals.
Well done.
Very good.
Okay. Mark?
Mm-hmm.
What team is Case Keenum on?
He's on the Bears, isn't he? Yes.
Well done. Okay, Kets. What team is Taylor Heineke on?
I've had a complete mental blank now.
That's why I'm asking is because they've all moved and they're tough. They're not easy.
Taylor Heineke. No,
Premium
can't
backup.
think. Can't think.
Mark?
I don't know if Heineke moved because within this off season, did he? But I think he's still
Maybe
on
not.
the Chargers. Yeah, 'cause he played us
Yeah,
last season.
he didn't. Did we see him last year?
Yeah, he played us. Yeah, Herbert went down for
Oh.
Heineke.
Of course he did.
Okay, what team is Mac Jones on?
Is that me?
Yep.
Is he still on the Jaguars? Oh, he's not. Where
No.
did he move to? Oh God.
He went to San Fran.
Yes,
He
Kets.
did.
You're off the
Well
mark.
done.
Off the mark. Okay, and where have I got to? Okay,
Kets, I think.
Kets. What team is Josh Johnson on?
Josh Johnson, that's nice.
Oh wow.
No, I'm not going to get it.
I ain't got a clue.
What?
I'm just going to assume that he might have just gone elsewhere in the AFC North and he's at the Bengals now, maybe? Nah, I didn't think so.
All right, I'm not going to give it. I will come back to that.
Mhm.
Remind me. Okay. Question 8, and is it Kets? I
No, it's
really
me.
need to. It's you, Mark. Sorry. Last question of the quickfire round. How many stints at different How many stints at NFL teams? Because sometimes he goes somewhere and somewhere else. Has Josh Johnson had?
Ooh.
And we're not including Bizarro, UFL, XFL,
Yeah,
Canadian
just
football.
NFL. Yeah.
Just NFL. How many different stints at teams has he had?
And he hasn't had to have made a start on these teams. He just has to
No.
have been.
Just been on the roster.
God, how long has Josh Johnson been? This is going to be a massively random guess. I'm going to go 6. Ooh.
22.
What?
22, and if you look, it's
22?
it's above 25 if you include all the other teams he's been on. That man is a journeyman. I mean, he was drafted in like 2008. He's still going.
Oh my
There's something
God.
that guy is doing. He's like the Tom Brady of backups, just like still going.
I hope one
Okay,
of the
well done,
questions
guys.
is what teams has he not had a stint with?
Yeah. Okay, why is that not adding up? Right, 1 second. I've got a spreadsheet issue here. There we go. Okay, 0 that. Okay, and we have Mark, you're on 4 points.
Yay.
Ketz, you're on 1 point. Okay,
Taking off it.
perfect. Right. Now we go to our first one of our division rounds. Okay, so I don't know if you remember this from last year. The winner picks. The winner picks. So, Mark, you get to pick a division, and then you get to pick a room, and you have to name as many quarterbacks from that room as you can. You get 1 point per quarterback. If you get the entire room, you get 2 points. So, first of all, Mark, please pick a division. What division are we going to?
Now, is the AFC North off limits like it was last year?
Yes.
Damn, okay, because that's where the big points would be. But I know exactly where I'm going to go for this. I'm going to go to the NFC East. Yes, NFC East. Sorry, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I forgot for a second. I'm going to go to the New York Giants. And I'm going to go because I'm pretty sure that this is the full room and it's the most famous QB room out there right now. Going to go for Russell Wilson.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know if you're doing the dings after.
I'm not going to do the dings.
Oh, okay. Jameis Winston, Jackson Dart, and Tommy DeVito.
Well done. So that is 4 plus 2, 6 points.
Hell yeah.
It's literally the most famous room, given it's got Jameis Winston in it.
Exactly. It's the most famous Jameis room of the
Famous Jameis room. And that is the advantage of winning that quickfire round.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So
I'm going to
you
come
got
straight back at you
individual.
with the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts, Tanner McKee, Kyle McCord, and DTR, Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Wow.
That is excellent.
Wow.
Well done.
Another 6.
Ooh.
Straight back at you. Okay.
Fair play
Right,
to
so
you.
now we
Shut
stay
up,
in
Matt,
division.
being an Eagles fan.
Yep.
Right, stay in division. Back to you, Mark.
Oh my God, we're doing the full division now, are we?
Well,
oh.
yeah, now there's 2 of you.
Oh God,
and
this
fast.
is horribly backfired. Okay. Jeez. Oh no, I do not know these 2 rooms. Okay, I'm gonna go for the
Your
Commanders.
dad would be disappointed.
I know. I'm gonna go for the Commanders, but I only know 2, which is Jaden Daniels, and I think Marcus Mariota's still there. But there's my God.
There's
Nah.
more.
I imagine there is.
There is more.
Oh no, that sounds like Ketz knows who it is as well.
So that's 2 points for Mark.
Yeah, that's going to be
Do you
2
wanna
points
take
for
a
Mark.
guess?
No, I'm not going to have a Blues clues here. I don't think they drafted anyone. Sam Hartman, handsome Sam Hartman. Is he still on the team?
He is.
Yes.
Is
But
that?
it's not the room.
No, I'm never going to get the 4th one.
Ketz?
I'm just going to guess it's Josh Johnson, being as we've spoken about him so much. I can't think of where else he is.
Right.
No, that's where he is.
That's where he is.
Oh my God.
Well done. All right, Ketz. Right.
That was fun. The
You're left with
Dallas
the Cowboys.
Cowgirls is Dak Prescott,
Mm-hmm.
Joe Milton.
Oh yeah.
Who's the other one? I don't think there's 4. I think there's... Is it Will Greer? Is he there?
Oh, Ketz. That's 5 points.
No,
Back in this
is that the
thing.
whole room? Oh my God.
That's you're tied, guys. You're tied.
Oh no, I didn't know we were going to do the whole division. I got too cocky with the
Oh, yeah.
Giants.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
we've got a tie-break situation, so we're going to have to go to a tie-break question.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go. Okay, it's first. Just shout out the answer because it's a number. How many new quarterbacks are there in the NFL this year? Mark, closest wins.
12.
Mark gets it. It's actually 23. So
Yeah, it's always
way
higher.
off. Way
yeah,
off.
I should have remembered. I think we were way off last year. So
Yeah, it was 23. It was 23 last year.
So many
bizarrely.
UDFAs.
Just
so many.
Yeah, we just got to think it's around 23, 25 quarterbacks come
Yeah.
into the league every year.
Gotta remember that.
But
every
that gives you control of the board, Mark. So
Mhm.
what division do you want to go to?
All right, we're back to divisions. Okay, I'm gonna go. Oh, what was? Yeah, I'm gonna go to the AFC West.
Okay.
I'm going to go to that Chargers room because this is one of the ones I kind of remembered on the top of my head here. and it is the Justin Herbert, Taylor Heineke. Oh my God, I've forgotten that third quarterback. I know the last one is DJ Uiagalelele, or however you say it.
I'm going to give you a ding for that.
Yeah.
But there is
Good
another
shout.
one. Who's the? Oh my God, who's the other one? Oh Jesus, this is literally the one I remembered because it's not who we think it is because he moved, and he was replaced by. Oh my God, I can't believe I've forgotten the other guy. I thought this was going to be the one I remembered. No, it's completely gone out of my head. Go on, Kets.
Okay, 3
Put me
points.
out my misery.
Trey Lance, isn't it?
God damn it. That's where he went.
Well done.
When you said Cowboys earlier, I was like, no, I know that's Chargers. And it's completely gone out of my head when I've done that. Oh, I don't believe it.
Okay, Kets, 16-14, you're 2 points behind. Well, you get a full room here. You
I
can
will go with the dynasty of this division and go with the
Bugger.
Chiefs. And that is Mahomes, Minshew Mania, Too Much Zip for Zappy, and formerly of the Steelers, Chris Aludicon is there as well.
And that's the room. Wow. Mark, under the cosh. Where'd you go now? So 4 points behind now.
I've absolutely killed myself here. I'll go. I only know two of them, but I'll go to the Raiders. Geno Smith and Aiden O'Connell.
You boy.
That's correct.
I ain't got a clue who the third quarterback of that team is. Yeah, go on, Kets.
I don't know.
No?
No, I'm
You do know his name. I've heard you
Really?
talk about him.
No, I ain't got a bloody clue.
But I've heard Kets talk about him.
Oh.
But I'll give it to you. Cam Miller.
Yeah.
Cam Miller, the rookie from North Dakota State, right?
Ah.
Is that where he ended up? Okay.
Yeah, that's where he went. That's why we do this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and Kets, right? I think you've got the Broncos.
I have my father-in-law's team. Bo Nix, Jared Stidham, and is it Ellinger?
And that's the room. 5 points.
wow.
Kets taking on a tear here. Okay,
Jeez.
right. Round 3. Wait 1 second. I think we do this in reverse order. Yes, reverse order. Round 3. So, Mark, you are 7 points behind. Pick a division, please.
Good Lord. Oh, we're doing another one of this.
Another division. One more.
AFC East, Bills, Josh Allen, Mitch Trubisky, Shane Buechele, and who's that fourth QB? Because I'm sure there's one. I'm assuming that's not the room.
That's not the room.
It's Mitch Trubisky, Shane Buechele, Josh Allen, and God's sake,
You'll know the name.
Mike White. Mike White went to the Bills, didn't he? Yes.
Well done.
Yes.
Well done.
6 points. Okay, Kets.
The one I'm thinking of, I think it's the full room on your Miami Dolphins, is Tua Tagovailoa, every Nan's favourite, Zach Wilson, and Bust Quinn Ewers.
It's the room. Well done. Oh, nearly gave Mark the 5 points there.
Oh, go on.
Adjudication error. Okay, and with that, you're still 6 points behind, Mark. You've got some work here.
All right. Okay. Well, I know two of the Jets. Oh, I think I know three of the Jets, but I don't know if that's the full room. Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor, and is Brady Cook? Is that where he ended up? The Missouri quarterback.
It's not the room, though.
Yeah, I ain't got a bloody clue who the fourth guy is going to be. Then I don't think. Is it going to be a name or not? I have no idea. No, I'm not.
Kets?
No, not sure.
All right, it's Adrian Martinez.
Yeah, was never getting that.
Undrafted in 2023. Moved up. He was fourth on the depth chart ahead of Brady Cook this year. But then you'd expect that, Brady Cook being a rookie. Okay.
So
we'll go to Kets.
These gals lot, the New England Patriots, and that is Drake May and Josh Dobbs, and I don't know who the other guy is. If there's 3 or if there's 4, I don't know who 2 of the other guys are.
That's not the room. Mark?
No, because Milton's gone now. So, no. No, I ain't got a clue.
Okay, another undrafted guy from this year, new quarterback, Ben Wooldridge. Ben Wooldridge. Let's see if we see that guy.
Which
Okay.
university was he out of, Gav?
I'm afraid I don't have that information.
I thought you. Yeah, I didn't know if you had that. Yes. Okay.
Okay, right, good. So let's move on. So that's the some of the divisions out of the way. So let's do a survivor round. Okay, so you get 1 point per correct, and a bonus from this. The winner of this round goes first in the next round. But so teams with multiple first round picks, round one quarterbacks. Teams with multiple round one quarterbacks. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams with more than one first round quarterback. And Mark, you get to go first.
Okay.
So give me one of those teams that's got a more than one first round quarterback.
I'm going to go for the New York Giants.
That's correct.
Had me worried there for a sec.
Gets.
Damn it, that was the one I was going for.
Just to be clear, obviously that's Russell Wilson and famous Jameis.
Mm-hmm. Buccaneers.
That's your life. You get one more. You get one more life, but that's the wrong answer. Back to you.
The Browns.
Correct. With obviously Deshaun Watson and Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. They got 3.
Still got 3.
They got 3. Okay, and
I've forgotten
your last
about
life.
Deshaun Watson as well.
Yeah. Technically on the roster.
Yeah.
Forgot about Kenny Pickett. Was he first? No, because he was later.
5 teams. 5 teams.
The Bills.
Yeah.
Yep. Well done. Because of Mitch Trubisky and Josh Allen, of course.
Yeah.
Mark?
I think this is right. Must be right. The Dolphins. Yeah.
Yep, because of Tua and Zach Wilson.
Couldn't quite remember where Tua was drafted for a second, but he was drafted very high, wasn't he? Yeah. So.
Okay,
second round doubt is key in this round, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm not convinced by it, but I'm going to go the Jets.
Afraid not. Okay, Mark, you run the table here, so you can keep going for as long as you want. There's 1, 2, 3 teams left.
3 teams left with multiple first rounders. Oh God.
Oh damn it! Just thought of one.
Can't. Oh God.
And you've got a life too, so you've got 2. You've got a guess.
I don't think the Seahawks.
Is that a guess?
That's a guess.
That's a life.
No. God, how is there 3 teams? Oh, the Chargers. Because I keep forgetting about bloody Trey Lance. Yeah.
And Trey Lance, that's right. Okay, it's another point for you.
I think I might be out on these last 2. Who have we already talked? The Commanders. Yes, of course, bloody Mariota.
Marcus Mariota and Jaden Daniels.
And then
point. Last one, and I'll give you an extra point if you get all these teams. How about that?
Oh my God.
If you get this, I'll give you 2 points.
Flag on the rules.
Well, I think completing always gets a bonus.
Well, it's not us. It's not the Ravens. I don't think I'm going to get this one somehow. I will go with the Rams. No, yeah, Jimmy G wasn't a first rounder.
Most interesting ownership team this year. It's the Colts.
Oh, for God's sake, of course.
Of course it's the Colts. Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson. Okay. Well done. Well done, though, Mark. You brought it back to an even game, 32-33. And with that victory as well, you get to go first in the exciting round of The Fallen. Now, I used to have a sad funeral march here for these guys because this is pretty sad. These guys that are currently now they may come back into the league. Some of them have gone off to play in Canada, or 2 of them have gone off to play in Canada. Some guys have retired, but these are the guys that have left the league. I will read all their names. Some of them might be back. Let's hope so. I hope they all come back. But So this is again a similar format, Survivor round. You've got one life. But Mark, off you go. Can you name any of the quarterbacks that are no longer on NFL rosters that were on NFL rosters this time last year, or were signed to NFL rosters and are no longer in it during the offseason?
I don't actually know if I can. Like, I can't even think who's retired this last year. Blimey. Because I don't think he'd already retired. Who I'm thinking of. Wow, this is. Who the hell played last year? I'm trying to even just remember. I'm trying to go for the retired ones because I think they'd be the ones that I'd know best. But maybe I need to be thinking of a different strategy. I can't think of a single damn quarterback. Because our guy, because he went somewhere else. Wow, this is depressing. How I can't think of this. I don't think he was on a. No, I can't go with that. I know he wasn't on a team last year. I don't think he was on a team last year. Nick Foles. No,
That's
I've
alive.
completely blanked on these QBs.
He was part of the Fallen last year.
Yeah.
Cats?
Beathart left the Jaguars, I think.
Not on this list. Not on this list. Now that doesn't. Oh, wait. Sorry. He is. He's there. Sorry. My mistake.
You
Cats,
teased
point.
me.
Well
You
done.
teased
Sorry.
He is there.
He is there. Yeah.
Because I was like,
He's
where the
gone.
hell's he gone?
one of the fallen. I'm sorry. Beathart, who was the who we had as one of the best ever Iowa quarterbacks, didn't we? He was up there. Well, I don't think we selected him for the team with Matt, but he was definitely in the conversation.
Yeah.
I can't remember who we selected. Well done, Kets. Okay, Mark.
I mean, if I didn't. What? Oh, yeah. Carson Wentz isn't on a team, is he?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
He
I
has
might get
retired.
one.
I
Is
think
he
he's
actually
officially retired.
Wow.
I think he's retired, yeah.
Bloody hell.
First round pick from 2016. Will always be connected in our minds with Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Went 1 and 2.
God
Goff's
damn.
had a nice renaissance. Wentz, unfortunately, never quite made it.
No.
Another North Dakota State quarterback.
I could be out.
Right, Kets.
I believe the Desmond Ridder experience has now ended.
No, he's on the Bengals.
That's a life, Kets.
Literally just signed him in the last week, I think.
Yeah. Close. Mark.
No, this is where I'm trying to think of that really terrible class and if there was anybody else. Because I know this isn't my guess, but I know Matt Corral was not on a team last year.
Wasn't he on the fallen list last year?
I think he might have been, yeah. I think he actually was, yeah.
Yes, he was.
God.
Went to the USFL.
Because, he's going to be somewhere.
There's names you'll know. Definitely names you'll know.
I'm gonna go for an old favourite, but I think he was on this list last year, potentially. Jake Luton.
He's there.
No. Who was he on last year? I thought he was on the list last year. Bloody hell.
No, he came back.
Who did he?
Came back.
Who took him on? Jesus. Oh,
Right,
my boy.
Kets.
One of our Italian boys, Ben DiNucci.
Ooh. No.
He was on last year's.
Oh, yeah, because he came in with us for a visit, but he never actually signed, did he?
Never signed. Yeah, afraid so. Kets, you're out. Mark.
I'm out as well. I'm not going to get another one of these.
I can't believe it.
Is there a really obvious one that we're missing?
There's a really obvious one.
Oh, no, Matt Ryan. No.
What has Derek Carr got to do?
Oh, yeah, Jesus Christ. I'd completely forgotten he retired.
So the full list,
no.
starting at the top.
Poor Derek Carr. I'm so sorry.
Derek Carr,
That's
Carson
bad.
Wentz, Jake Luton, Nathan Rourke,
Oh, Nathan Rourke.
Nate Sudfield, Jaron Hall, my own guy,
Oh, sorry, Gav.
PJ Walker, gone to the CFL, Jeff Driscoll, CJ Beathard, however you say his damn name. Tyler Huntley,
Tyler Huntley, blimey.
John Reese Plumley.
Well,
Should have got that one.
he is a wide
Hang on.
receiver now, isn't
He's
he?
a wide receiver now.
He's a
But
wide
he's not a
receiver at the
quarterback.
field.
He's
Yeah,
fallen.
exactly.
No, we've had this before.
He's
If
fallen
no
from the
longer,
position.
He's no longer contracted as a quarterback.
Who was that last year? There was one player like that as well last
Oh,
year.
hang on.
Malik Cunningham.
Yes.
Yes.
Switch wide receiver.
Yeah.
Logan Woodside. Ricky Lombardi, everyone's favourite. A sad one coming up. Travis Jordan, the rookie. Never
Jordan
recovered from his
Travis.
injury. Jordan Travis. Travis Jordan. Jordan Travis.
So sad. The name was the wrong way around.
The name was the wrong way round.
Oh yeah, cool.
So
I literally talked about him on the pod like 2 weeks ago. Jeez.
Andrew Peasley. Max Duggan. Casey Bauman.
Max Duggan.
Luis Perez. Ian Book.
No, my boy.
Anthony Brown.
I thought Book was on last year.
Carter Bradley. And Reed Sinnott. And there we have it, gentlemen, the fallen list. We salute you. Thank you for your service. And we wish you the best of luck.
Who was Ian
in
Book
whatever
on
you
last
do.
year?
He did re-sign somewhere.
Because he was on like the Saints and the Eagles.
Yeah,
God, I have
I'm
no
sure.
idea where he ended up.
not sure, but he definitely played because otherwise he wouldn't be on this list.
Come
okay, right. With that was a 2-1 winning for Mark.
With
So let's
apologies
add
to
that.
Derek Carr, yes.
Yeah, that should have been got. Okay, so the scores are 34-34.
No.
Who would believe it? All right, we'll have a tie break and then we'll have one more division and then that'll be the quiz. Okay, right. Let's. Ooh, this is a tricky one for a tiebreaker, actually. Let's give me a number. Just shout it out. First person wins to select the division. How many former Pittsburgh quarterbacks are there in the league not currently on the Steelers roster? Go.
Oh, jeez.
Say a number.
Both
Both of you.
5.
Ketz, Mark.
6.
Ketz has got it. Ketz has got it. Well done. 6.
Oh, it was
It's
6. Oh,
Trubisky, Pickett, Dobbs, Aludican, Wilson, Fields.
bloody Aludican.
6. Okay, Ketz.
Aludican for the win.
The ball is in your court for the deciding round. Pick a division we've not done yet. Good luck, both of you.
Okay, NFC West, just to keep things interesting. I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Rams. And you said it was the unchanged room, Gav, which is giving me some confidence who's in it. So Matt Stafford, Jimmy G, my boy Stetson Bennett, and Dresser Wynn was the 4th in that room, because I remember that was one of the answers last year.
Well done. That's 6 points, Ketz. That's a big play there. Setting yourself up in pole position, Mark.
Okay, I'm going to have to play this tactically because if this is still... This might only be a 3-man room. This might backfire on me. But if I can nail it, then it takes it away from Ketz, and there is a possibility of managing to wrangle some other points from somewhere. So I'm going to go for the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray, Jake Brisket, and is Clayton Tune still on the Cardinals, and is that the room?
That's the room.
Okay.
Well, we've got a 1-point game, gentlemen. Ketz.
I'm more sure about one than the other, so I'm going to go with Simon's Seattle Seahawks.
Bollocks, I think that's where I was going to go after.
That's all right. I think this is a small room, though. I think there's only 3. So Sam Darnold is in it. Drew Lock is in it. And is it Jalen Milroe?
It is. Right. Mark.
I feel like there's quite a few on the Niners, so it gives Mark a chance if he can remember them all.
Not a chance. Brock Purdy,
You've got to get that one, otherwise you get instantly dismissed from the pod.
Mac Jones. I haven't got a clues on the 49ers. I don't think this is the route. Oh, my sleeper, Curtis Rourke, ended up on the 49ers.
Correct. It's not the room.
That's that's the not a bloody clue. God, I'm gonna have to pluck some obscure quarterback out of thin air. There was a really weird named one last year. I can't remember what his name was.
If you got the name here, it would tie.
God.
Tie. If not, Cats wins.
Can't be a former Steelers quarterback either. I think, yeah, they're all gone. Oh, I don't know. God. No, they didn't have another rookie go over. Nathan Peterman. No.
Cats, do you want to steal?
The amount of doubt I had then when he said Nathan Peterman was unbelievable. I think it's Mordecai. Only because I remember that he sounds like the best villain ever.
Gonna need a full name.
Oh, God, I know his first name. Can I steal it back? I know his first
Sorry,
name.
Mark.
Oh.
Is it something like... Is it Tanner?
Yeah.
Tanner
And with
Mordecai?
that, we have a new champion, ladies and gentlemen. Kets, well done. 46-42. That was a very good competition. There was coming and going there. There was a couple of go-ahead answers there. That was very exciting.
Yeah, it's weird.
Thank
I
you.
nearly,
Worded it well.
I nearly said Tanner Morgan right at the end there as well. I would have been really annoyed if I'd have said that. Old Steelers quarterback Tanner Morgan.
There seems to be a Tanner and a Morgan every year. Sometimes it's Tanner Morgan. Sometimes it's Morgan Tanner. There's a Tanner McKee, Tanner Mordecai.
There is a Tanner
Strange.
McKee.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Strange quarterback name. I think your chances of being a backup quarterback undrafted go up massively if you're called Tanner.
Yeah,
But thanks, guys. I enjoyed that. That was fun. Well done.
that was good, and we
Good
got through
game.
that in a decent time as well. I think we
We ripped through that. Yeah,
we did.
And quick
yeah.
fire's the way forward.
it
Should we
is.
Should we stick with quarterbacks, Mark?
I think that's a good idea, actually. Yeah. So we have another segment on this podcast. So myself and Kets thought of doing this because next year is going to be quite a pivotal year for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we pretty much, I'm not going to say we're certain, but it's looking likely that it's going to be a pivotal draft in terms of the new potential franchise quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So myself and Kets thought that we would get ahead of the game a little bit in this and do a little bit of a summer scouting series, something that we haven't done on the pod before. Have a look at some of the draft prospects for 2026 heading into the new 2025 college year, just to kind of get a heads up on them, have an idea of who's going to be up there potentially, and something to keep an eye on throughout the college year as well. And it's something that that you dear listeners as well can keep an eye on, just to see how these players come out. So we thought we'd just do the top 4, potentially 5 QBs in this, potentially 6. We'll see how we go. We've only got a few weeks until the season starts, and we kind of wanted to get it done before then. But we're just going to do 1 QB a week heading into it. But before we start with it, I set something for Kets as well, and I knew you were very
Homework?
busy. A little bit of homework, but it was like very last minute today homework, and I knew you were busy here today, Gav. So you can kind of listen to our lists here, and you can agree or disagree, and kind of chime in with your own thoughts on this. I've kind of got a list here, and Kets has got his own as well, of separating it into 3 different categories of NFL teams. So this is all 32 NFL teams in terms of the possibility of them taking a first-round quarterback in 2026, how we stand now heading into the 2025 season. So very early sort of draft, looking into the future and seeing what these teams are going to be doing. So we've got 3 categories. We've got the strong chance category, which, spoilers here, and I'm sure Kets will probably agree, the Pittsburgh Steelers are part of that. I believe they are in the kind of strong chance. If I had to put my money on one team in the NFL to draft a first round quarterback, if I could only do it on one team, it would be the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think it's almost at this point early on nailed on. Crazier things have happened, I suppose, but I genuinely believe we might be the team that is most likely to do it. But there are some other teams on here that have a strong chance as well and could be contenders for us in terms of these draft prospects. Then we've kind of got the moderate chance people who may be having a look at it potentially if their seasons go awry and QBs fall by the wayside or this, that, and the other happens. And then there's the last group, which is kind of the limited no chance guys who've probably already got their franchise QBs or have already recently drafted high up and probably won't be taking a quarterback in the first round next year. So Kets, I'm going to start with my strong chance list because I understand. Do you have 8 teams in your kind of strong chance list from what you said earlier?
I did have originally. I think I've just taken one team off after rethinking.
Okay.
Maybe he's more of a franchise guy than I first thought when I just briefly earlier looked at a list.
So you've
I
got
think I've
7.
got 7 now. Yeah.
Okay, no worries. So I'm going to go for. I've got 6 here, and so these are the 6 teams that I think have got the strongest chance of picking a quarterback in the first round of next year's draft. The Steelers being one of them, and then the other 5 that I've got are the Saints, the Colts, the Browns, the Rams, and a bit of a tricky one this, but I'm also going to say the Jets.
We're not saying the Lions.
I've got them in the next group, and I'll kind of go on
Okay.
to why. But Kets, who have you got?
Okay, so mine are the Saints, the Falcons,
Ooh.
the Raiders, the Colts, the Steelers, the Browns, and maybe the Jets.
Okay, interesting. So let's start with the Falcons there, because that's the most interesting one to me, because they've just obviously had Michael Penix in last year's draft as a first round pick. We don't know what's happening with Kirk Cousins. He probably won't be on the Falcons in 2026, potentially. I don't know about that. But so you're thinking that Penix might sputter out, and there's a strong possibility that the Falcons could take a QB in round 1?
Yeah, I just don't think I was that high on Penix. And obviously Kirk Cousins is pretty much a 1-year rental. So you've got Penix, Kirk Cousins. That's the team Eastern Stick is on. And then who's the other guy? Emery Jones. So I just look at that room and I'm kind of like, well, to me, it depends on how they do. If they don't have a great year, that means Penix has not done well. They'd be drafting sort of in that first 10, 15 maybe. I just think there's an outside chance, depending on how their season goes, that they could end up with a first round QB this year.
See, that's why I've got them in limited to no chance. I think Penix didn't really have a first season. He kind of came in at the back end of the first season and somewhat impressed as well. I think they're going to want to build around this guy for at least a couple of years. I don't think they're going to put all their chips down on 2025 being boom or bust for Penix. I think they're going to want to see what they've got here, and unless it's absolute catastrophic fail, I think the only chance really the Falcons have got of drafting the QB first overall, in the first round, is if they're picking first overall. Otherwise, I think they're
Yeah,
going
the one
to roll.
caveat though is that they drafted Penix when they signed Kirk Cousins to that massive deal, so they're no stranger to making head scratching quarterback moves, which turned out maybe to be right. We saw the drop off in Kirk, right? But
and my other thought is that division has become so competitive with Bryce Young, and obviously Baker cemented the Bucs job as well. If you
is
look
it competitive? Like bad competitive?
Bad competitive, yeah.
It's the other teams are doing something, which kind of puts the Falcons. I mean, the Saints look like they're definitely going to have to take somebody.
Yeah, I cannot see a world. Sorry, Gav, I can't see a world where. Yeah, Mr. Spencer Rattler. I could easily see Spencer Rattler
Hunter
beating.
Deckers was their missing quarterback.
Oh yes, you did. Oh yes, we did. You did say you were going to come back to that. But yeah,
Hunter
I
Deckers
don't
was
see
their
a
second
world
rookie.
where the Saints. I almost don't see a world where the Saints aren't picking in the first round next year. I don't believe in Tyler Shuck unless he surprises me. And they didn't spend first round capital on that. And
Yes, they did.
no, Shuck was a second round pick.
And that's a reach.
Yeah,
that's a reach.
That's a reach, exactly. Yeah. So yeah,
I just look at that division overall. It feels like something's got to give with a couple of those teams, because I feel like Baker's a solid piece. Bryce Young is obviously a very high first round pick, so they're going to build around him. Penix, Cousins, Shook, Rattler. It just feels to me like the Falcons and the Saints have. I think they'd be looking at these quarterbacks at the very least. If they obviously, if Penix has a good season, if Tyler Shook has a good season, or Spencer Rattler comes through and plays well, then maybe that'll negate that to a certain extent. But I think that's a division that is going to be QB hungry this first round next year.
See, yeah, I think I just think Penix. I think they believe in Penix, and I just think they're going to give him a little bit of time, just to
I
see
hope
how
they
it
do.
goes. Yeah, as I
Yeah.
say, if it's cataclysmically horrible, then yeah, I could see it. But otherwise, that's why I think it's a limited chance for them. You had the Raiders in there as well. I was umming and erring about the Raiders taking that. I had them very high up in the moderate chance kind of list. I could possibly push them into a strong chance depending on how it goes. But I think Gino's still got something in the tank. Maybe I'm a bit too high on AOC. I don't know, but yeah, it could be. Again, if the Raiders have a bad season and Pete Carroll feels like there's fresh blood to be had and the QB class is good, then maybe they could. That's why I've kind of got them in a moderate thing. But I just think Gino's a bit too pretty decent to kind of really put them in a strong chance situation.
I
The
just
thing,
can't believe you haven't got the Lions. I can't. I don't understand why you haven't got the
So
Lions in
I've
this.
got the
In this,
Lions in moderate. I don't have them in limited. I do have them in moderate. I am worried about the depth behind Jared Goff, but I do think Goff's got another couple of years on him in terms of being a strong QB. Maybe they want to build for the future next year if it's a good class, but I think if the Lions have a strong season again, then they're going to be picking up that high in that kind of higher range. Maybe they're just going to want to build up more pieces and then have a look at 2027.
yeah, but their roster's so stacked. I just think that
Mm.
they're the wise heads in the Lions organization will be thinking, yeah, Goff probably could play another two, 1 or 2 seasons after this one.
It could be a
But
Rogers Love situation.
exactly, I think they'll get that guy in place. If this is a stacked quarterback class, then there's going to be a guy that's going to fall probably.
Potentially.
So I
Yeah.
think they may well take that guy that kind of I'm not predicting them to make the Super Bowl, so I think they could be getting that 5th, maybe 6th quarterback.
But then I don't know if that means that they'll take a first round QB. I could well see them taking a second round QB.
Well, they've got
potentially.
Hooker, who I think is a second round
But
quarterback
he's-
but fell to the 3rd because he was injured. I think they would be given the strength of this class. If all the guys come out that we expect him to, I think there could be a guy there, and I think they've got. I'd put them ahead of the Falcons, the Raiders.
Wow. Okay. I don't. I don't think. I mean, I've got them ahead of the Falcons, but I think you're replacing Hendon Hooker next year rather than getting Jared Goff's potential heir apparent in there. I still think there's Jared Goff for a couple of years, and I think build it up in 2027 potentially. I think there are areas that they can look at in the first round as well. I know they're stacked, but there is still some areas of concern on that team. So particularly in defense, with the amount of defensive injuries they're getting as well, it's just absurd. So
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's 30.
that's not
So I
terrible.
guess-
Yeah,
yeah.
he's probably got another 10 years in him. So
Well, he
Like-
could do, yeah.
yeah.
And he's not the most mobile guy anyway, so
No,
I guess there's not going to
exactly.
be a drop off. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe you're right. It just feels like he's, yeah. He's played well. He's played well in the system, but it doesn't feel like he's. It feels like he's a trailer rather than a truck, doesn't it? It feels like they could, having a quarterback. If they kept Matthew Stafford, for instance, it feels like that could be the guy that pushes him over edge.
But he's so smart. Like I don't know if you've watched Quarterback yet, but like my opinion of Jared Goff has only been raised by that show. He's just such a smart and cerebral quarterback. Like really, really good to watch that and just to see his process and everything. He's just I think he kind of he had his struggles at the Rams, and I think he's fallen into the perfect place. And I think he could well shine for that franchise for many years. But that's why I'm a little bit. I don't think it's a strong chance, but I've got it moderate because I do think if it does fall off a cliff for him, then they will probably have a look at that next year. Who else?
Just to
yeah,
just to circle back on Gino at the Raiders, he did
Yeah.
sign a 2-year, 75 million extension in April this year. So maybe that suggests that they are doing 2 years on the Gino train, but it's one of them.
Pete Carroll loves him. I mean, he came in and traded for him. And
exactly. It could still be a case of they get his heir apparent next year. Like they could do with the Lions. But that's why I only had the Raiders at moderate because I think they like Gino and I think they go through there. Just kind of looking back over these lists again. So yeah, the Saints, we're saying pretty strong candidates there. I think we're in agreement there. Did you have the Colts in your top chart?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, that quarterback room is messy. I don't believe in either Richardson or Jones to be the guy. I think this team could be picking very high, and I think they could be picking the guy. Them and the Saints are. If Arch Manning comes out this year, like that's very much it feels almost written in the stars for one of those two teams to be taking him. The Browns. You had the Browns as well?
The Browns. Who even knows what that franchise is going to be?
It's going to be Shedeur Sanders.
I'm hearing that people were preferring Dylan Gabriel earlier on to Shedeur Sanders. So, I mean, who knows what the hell's going on? Joe Flacco has taken the first team reps, which is probably right, to be honest. It's a mess. It's a total mess. And yeah, I totally think they're going to be. I think they could be one of the key candidates for the man that we're about to talk about in a bit. The Rams.
What's the saying? If you've got 2 quarterbacks, you've got none. Well, they've got 5.
They've got 5, and they definitely
figure it out.
So they've probably got like -3. Yeah. The Rams, it feels like Stafford's towards the end, and I think this is definitely the team over the Lions. I think this is the team that definitely needs to have the next guy in right now.
Matt Stafford, that's not been throwing this week in the first week of camp because his back's done.
Yeah, exactly. That
37 years old.
It could be a rough season for the Rams if he's not going because I don't believe in Jimmy G. So yeah, this will be very much. I think the Rams will be a very strong contender for that. We put the Jets in. Well, yeah. So you had the Jets in as well, Kets. It's kind of a rough one because Fields obviously got injured in camp today. It's not a severe injury, but it did raise alarm bells as to the depth of that Jets quarterback room. And if Fields isn't the guy, the Jets are going to be an organization that wants to get that sorted.
They could be number 1 pick overall, couldn't they?
They could well be. You never know. It feels like a cursed organization as it is, but you've just paid Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner massive amounts of money. So you're in a position to go get a rookie QB at this point. So, if it really doesn't work out with Fields, I think they really are strong contenders. I had them moderate first, but after that injury and thinking about it a little bit more, I think this team really could be strong contenders to be in that first round discussion.
Here's a sneaky one. What about the Dolphins?
I was just looking at the Dolphins.
Yeah, I had the Dolphins at moderate. Tua is very close, to having to retire at this point. Like, it's a massive concern for him, and then it's worrying behind him. So yeah, the Dolphins could well be. I think I kind of held off on that just because I believe in Tua if he's healthy. I still think he can provide something in this team if he's fit and ready to go. But that is definitely one to look out for.
I think they're definitely the higher end of moderate.
Yeah, I would say that. Moderate. I'll just kind of read off some of the moderate chance guys. I still think the Giants have a moderate chance. Even though they did get Jackson Dart, which has kind of put me off putting them as a strong candidate. If Dart doesn't really come on in kind of the background here, and if Russ
also threw a pick 6 in day 1 of camp.
Yep, very, very, very auspicious start. If Russ doesn't, if Russ does what he did at the back end of last season with us, if Jameis is Jameis, and it's not going to be our boy Tommy DeVito, unfortunately. So that is a team that could be on the high end of moderate as well, depending on whether they might. Take a chance with Jackson Dart in 2026. But I had the Raiders there. I had the Jaguars at moderate.
I don't know. I looked at Trevor Lawrence's contract, and that convinced me that there's minimal chance.
But this
As
is
I
the
mean,
Jaguars
as
we're talking about.
the play, yes, but with that contract, with how long it is, it's right the way through to 2030.
It is.
That'd be like a Cleveland reset type scenario.
I suppose if he stinks out the joint, who's going to want to take that on as well?
Yeah, I'd say ahead of the Jaguars, I would put if the Cowboys or the
Cowboys are there.
Cardinals bust out this year
Mm-hmm.
and absolutely flame out, they could trade Prescott or Murray and try and go for one of these. Because obviously they've both got long contracts as well. They both extended, didn't they, out to 2028? But it just feels like there's something going on there that if they didn't have a great season, they might want to move on and trade. It's not often you get quarterback trades, but I feel like with a strong QB class, the Cowboys and the Cardinals would be candidates to try and move their highly paid veteran quarterbacks and move for one of these rookies. I'd have them ahead of the Jaguars doing that. I think there's still belief. There's Brian Thomas. There's some hope that Lawrence can come good. I think we know what Prescott and Kyler Murray are at this point. I don't think we know what Trevor Lawrence is. So I'd actually have the Jaguars below.
I've got the Cowboys and the Cardinals both in moderate chance for those reasons. I think Dak could well be on somewhat of a last chance parade here for him. So, but I know the contract's strong with Lawrence, but God, it's just
It's strong with all three of those guys. I think.
but it's just not been like it really feels like if he has a proper stinker here. I know he's been hit with injury concerns, but if he just doesn't produce at that level, that the kind of playoff level that he had a few seasons ago, I could easily see the Jags wanting to move on. I really could.
What gives you confidence that Bryce Young is better than Trevor Lawrence?
The Panthers are absolutely a moderate chance for me as well. I think Bryce Young is in that boat of, he's already been benched once. He had a good end to last season, but if he stinks out the joint again, then the Panthers are going to go straight back to it. I think they're on the high end of moderate chance. I don't necessarily think the Jags are on the high end of moderate chance here, but I do have the concerns over Trevor Lawrence. But yeah, Bryce Young is absolutely a hot seat candidate of a starting quarterback. He needs to.
Do you think
out
the
blocks.
GMs around the league have looked at what's happened with Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold and gone, you know what, we should not move on from these guys until they get to 28, 29, 30 and we see them start to develop?
There is a chance, absolutely a chance of that, and that is a very good point. But there's just the pressure, isn't it? You just feel like you're in a world now where you need to make decisions quickly, and you can't be patient somewhat because you've got other players that you need to think about that are talismans that will get older and older with this QB. A lot of these teams that want to be in a kind of win now mode. It's difficult to build around that sometimes when you've just got a very unsure quarterback situation. So some teams will jump the gun more than others, and I think teams like the Jags are very very capable of doing just that. I think the Panthers are very capable of doing just that. So that's difficult. This one might be an interesting one. The Titans. I know they've just got Cam Ward, number one overall.
No guarantees there.
No guarantees. I mean, look what happened with the Cardinals when they.
Look what happened with Will Levis.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, he was fortunately a second round QB
But
pick.
still,
That's still
I
horrible.
mean.
Yeah, still a horrible pick. And now he's out for the whole season. But yeah, if it goes horribly wrong with Cam Ward, what's to say he wouldn't be another Josh Rosen? Like, what's to say the Titans wouldn't? I think it would have to be the Titans would have to be picking number one overall again, and there'd be.
I mean, are we sure that Caleb Williams is a dead cert?
Now, I've got the Bears at minimal.
Yeah, I have too.
Yeah, I
think
don't know.
They're going to give him enough rope.
You'd think so.
With Ben Johnson as a first-year head coach as well, I think they're going to want to try to get those two going for a good couple of years. You've got Dunze as well as a young receiver option there, and I don't think they're going to be. I think there's very minimal chance of them doing that. them going for a first rounder. The only other, so I had the Seahawks in the moderate chance as
Yeah,
well.
me too.
Yeah,
Taylor Milrow, come on.
still what was he, third, fourth round pick?
Yeah, he just needs time.
Yeah.
Donald.
We could say
and
the same
then
about
Milrow.
Will Howard. It's just. But yeah, Sam Darnold's good enough for me to only put them in moderate and just see what happens there. You'd have to have a stinker, I think, for the Seahawks to kind of pivot into a first round QB. The last one I had on here, this might be one of the more contentious ones, especially for this podcast. The 49ers. I know Brock's contract is massive. Oh, okay. I listen. I love Brock Purdy. I think he's a great player, but there's something I don't. They didn't have a very good season last season. Yeah, they were massively injury hit last year, but I don't know. I'm not ruling it out. It's bottom end of moderate for me, but I don't know. I'm keeping my eye on that one. Potentially.
Here's a proposal for you.
Mm-hmm.
Will Howard looks great in camp. Brilliant. Everyone, there's a bit of a buzz about him, right? Season plays through. He's we get to the off season next year. How about the Steelers trade Will Howard, TJ Watt, and a first or second round pick for Justin Herbert? You making that trade?
Well, what kind of year has Justin Herbert just had?
A good year, but just seems not in the right system.
What kind of year has TJ Watt just had?
Aging.
No, I'm not.
Okay, so what would you send? Is there a world where you can get Justin Herbert onto the Steelers?
There is. Could be costly, and I don't know.
Well, it's costly. That was costly, right? That's your rookie, your best player, and a first round pick. But what else? I was just trying to be realistic.
Well, I was just trying to take TJ Watt out of it and see what else you could probably put in there.
I'm sure the Harbaugh brothers won't be leaning on each other in this scenario.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the problem.
But I don't think the Harbaugh, Jim. I'm not sure he wants a Herbert type quarterback and would like some extra pieces. I think he would like a Will Howard.
No.
I just think he's an interesting kind of cat that's not in the right offense.
I get it,
especially with Roman. Yeah,
but I don't know. I think. I mean, Chargers.
I'm not sure the Steelers is the right offense.
No,
either,
exactly. Yeah, Chargers
but
is minimal for me in terms of like QB first round next year. But I don't see that world. I suppose I do like Justin Herbert. I'm just, it would take a lot.
If this was fantasy and I was looking at this, I'm thinking he's the guy. He's the fish out of water. What does it take?
Yeah, but that's what it is, Gav. It's fantasy.
Right? Yeah, it is fantasy.
Would Justin Herbert be better on the Lions? As the
that's a good shout.
Yeah, that would be horrible for the rest of the league, but great for them. So,
my God,
yeah.
and Jared Goff would be great on the Chargers. That would make sense.
Oh, there you go.
Make a lot of sense.
We've done it. We've done the next.
You heard it here first.
Trade. Yeah. Sorry, Kets. Yeah.
Just for completeness, my other moderate team that we've not mentioned is the Vikings. On the question of whether the JJ McCarthy thing works out or not, I hope it does. He was one of my guys coming out.
Close one for me. I did go minimal in the end because I think they will give JJ a chance.
I think they'll give him a couple of years, but if they have a horrible season and end up picking really high, especially with the receiver situation there as well, you think, are you going to really leave it with, sorry Gav, but Sam Howell, Brett Rippey and Max Brosner? Not convinced. I think they could be one that could be, if they're on a negative run and they're picking early, why would they not potentially pull the trigger? If the defense is there or thereabouts with Flores there, if they can make a difference to the offense, and it turns out JJ McCarthy's not of NFL standard, they're an outside bet for me.
Seems unlikely at this point, but
it does. It's
possible. It's in a realm of possibility.
Yeah, there's a road where that does happen potentially. That's what I'm flagging.
I'd say the Giants would be more likely. I've got more faith in JJ McCarthy than I have in Jackson Dart.
Yeah, same.
I'll run through all of my minimal no chance teams, and you just tell me. A couple we've already discussed, but if there's anybody else who we haven't discussed who you're a bit unsure about, so all the ones I had here: the Chiefs, the Eagles, the Bills, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Chargers, the Commanders, the Bears, the Vikings, who we've just talked about, the Packers, the Falcons, who we talked about earlier, the Buccaneers, the Broncos, the Texans, and the Patriots. Any of those you think you could possibly push into moderate that we haven't already discussed?
No, but I've got an eye on the Ravens taking a later rounds guy.
Oh, they were. I think they did in this draft.
Yeah, I think they'll keep doing that.
Got the lad from Kentucky, I think. Those teams I just think have solid pieces in place, or have got future guys that they're going to lean on. Specifically those top five have definitely got their franchise QB. Buccaneers is an interesting one with Baker, but I do think they will ride with Baker for a little while because I think he's found his home there. Jordan Love at the Packers. There are rumblings about people not being too high on him and him being a bit reckless and whatnot, but ultimately I don't think that they will give up on him that quickly. I think they'll want to have him, blend more with the 20,000 wide receivers that they have and see what they've got there. But they got another one in as well. I can't remember who it was, but they got another wide receiver in. It's ridiculous. But yeah, we'll see with that. But I couldn't push the Packers any higher, but I do think that's one to potentially keep an eye on.
I think they'd have to have an absolute disaster for them to go back to the well next year.
Yeah, they don't often do that. This is the thing. The Packers,
no,
yeah,
it's that kind of organisation, isn't it?
QB. Yeah. So I mean, this all kind of, this all really leads to why we're doing this exercise, and those teams are the ones that we're probably going to be up against, the ones that we've talked about at the top, who have the strong chance of taking QB1s. So this draft class is kind of touted early on here before the season starts as, we'll go with better than last year. There's definitely some, early multiple first round candidates that are being touted here. Various different schools, various different divisions, and as I say, we're going to go through one by one each week some of these prospects, kind of give you our thoughts on them early on, and then we can keep tabs on them as the college season progresses and see where we're at come January, February, when it's time to look at these QBs and see where we go from there. So we're starting our series here with one Mr. get his name right, Mr. Cade Klubnik out of Clemson. So Cade Klubnik, the senior out of Clemson, 21 years of age. The measurements I have down for him currently are 6'2". Now, I've got 210, but I have seen anything between 210, 215. What do you have a weight measurement there, Kets?
I had 210, but
210.
Let's take all of that with a pinch of salt in terms of the weight. It doesn't matter till next year, does it really? But
exactly,
that's what the combine's for.
But that'll be something that's an interesting thing to come back to in a second, I think. So, 6'2", 210, as we had on there. So, Cade Klubnik, former Texas high school legend, 5-star recruit out of Westlake High School, a 3-time state champion at that powerhouse high school, broke records at that high school that has had some big-time QBs.
I think it's worth name checking those. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Trevor Lawrence wasn't there, but he was obviously a Clemson guy. But do you have the names there? Sorry, the guys.
Yeah. So the guys at his high school he's beat is the likes of Drew Brees, Nick Foles, Sam Ellinger. So some good names in and amongst there, and it's
statistically, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously had to follow on from Trevor Lawrence's big time work at Clemson as well when he joined there. So,
Deshaun Watson,
Clemson
QB as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, some big shoes to fill for Klubnik. So obviously, earned the starting job in the Orange Bowl against Tennessee in 2022. played through 2023 and in the 2024 campaign. A significant leap forward in 2024, highlighted by a record-setting performance against Appalachian State. So, it's not the highest thing, but first...
Hey, App State, that's Daniel Jeremiah's old team. He was a
I know,
quarterback.
but first FBS quarterback in 25 years to throw for 5 touchdowns, rush for 2 more, and maintain a 90% completion rate in a single game. He dominated that game. That was week
That game.
2. Yeah. That was just the week after Georgia as well, which we'll kind of come on to in a little bit as well. He was only the third player to win multiple ACC championship MVP honors, matching accomplishments of Deshaun Watson and Tyrod Taylor. So, Klubnik, really, really interesting QB to have a look at here. Kind of the pros that I had for him, I thought his vision was excellent. I thought he had an incredibly sharp get out. It was such a zip on the ball at times, like a really, really lovely zip that he had on the ball. Absolutely loves a quick out route as well. Like that is kind of his go-to, it feels like. But pulls it off with really good precision. Very good mobility outside of the pocket. He has some dual threat upside. He had a 50-yard touchdown against Pitt with his legs. That was really good. Has some real possible dual threat capabilities about him. Really excellent escapability at times. We'll come on to why that's a bit of a downside for him as well in that part. That Georgia game, so it was kind of almost a tale of two halves in a way, but like there was some absolutely beautiful throws that he had on there very early on in the game. An absolute lovely deep ball down the sideline off his back foot, just perfect placement into his receiver's hands just over the shoulder. Absolutely beautiful ball over the top. Really kind of shows what Klubnik's able to do downfield. He's not got like an elite arm, but he's got a decent arm. Whether that can grow is another question, but definitely can get the ball downfield at times, and isn't too bad. Getting those deep balls downfield. Really, really nice touchdown to interception ratio in 2024. He had 36 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, which is really, really nice. He was the highest graded QB in PFF in this projected draft class. His passing grade was 87.7, overall offensive grade of 89.2. So it's of the guys that we're talking about, definitely highest, and I think he was like second highest in one, but then definitely in offensive grade. Was it offensive? I think it was offensive grade. He was number 1 overall out of all QBs of this draft class. He dealt with a ton of pressure as well, and I think for the most part he dealt with it really well. Everybody talks about what a great leader he is and what a brilliant work ethic he has as well. Just a very, very smart and passionate young man who cares a lot about the game. The cons are very, I don't want to say very concerning, but they're very obvious, I think. One is the size. So he's 6'2", 210. That is definitely the smallest QB out of the ones that we're going to be looking at here in this top echelon of QBs. That can be a big concern. 6'2" doesn't sound small. It's taller than I am. But in quarterback terms, that's not the biggest. And then 210 is very slight for a QB, and it helps with the dual threat a little bit, but at the same time you would like to see him put on a little bit of weight there and just be able to kind of balance that nicely. So kind of had to worry a little bit about the size on there. He has a tendency, I kind of saw a bit of college Bo Nix and / Kenny Pickett about him in terms of escaping the pocket when he doesn't need to. I think he can get a little bit terrified by some pressure that he gets. For the most part, I felt he dealt with pressure well, but there were parts where it was a concern that he was bailing out a bit too often, and it wasn't coming off well. And then he's just he's throwing on the run and throwing off his off balance too much, and kind of leads to some concerning plays. And it kind of
I've seen a good comp,
yeah
which might help you.
yeah
Ryan Tannehill.
Interesting comp.
What do you think?
Yeah, ish. Like I can
Bit of a good runner,
sort of see that. Yeah,
kind of a leader. Maybe not the most accurate passer, but decent.
yeah. As I say, like he's got the lowest completion. Well, he's got a lower completion percentage than
Yeah,
most.
63.4 last year, which is a tick lower than you'd like, but it's not terrible. But
Yeah, but out of the
amazing.
guys that we're going to talk about over this, that's the lowest out of them. Which kind of puts him on the back foot in that respect, and is something that he'll need to work on. Had a high number of turnover-worthy plays as well compared to everybody else, and lower yards per average as well, which could be a product of the system as well.
Would you hate it if the Steelers drafted Ryan Tannehill?
Well,
Would that be a good pick or a bad pick?
well, it kind of depends. Like some of the other
It would suit Arthur Smith, wouldn't it?
potentially, yeah, absolutely. Well, they obviously had a great relationship, but I mean, look at the kind of the other issues that I kind of saw with him. I don't think he sells fakes very well. Like he does have some good, run options there, but there are some kind of iffy moments in that respect, and a few of the longer passes can get underthrown as well. Receivers do very well, and I think Clemson has a good core there, but it's kind of just a little bit concerning about some of those longer passes. And then just the big game mentality. He did well in parts against Georgia, but wasn't fully there like you would want him to. And a couple of his bigger games came against the likes of Appalachian State and these kind of with all due respect lower tier FBS teams. So you would like to see him kind of pick up his game against some of the bigger teams, and we'll see with that, because Clemson are kind of touted to be one of these strong teams that are going to be should be a playoff team, should be another ACC title contender.
They've got a good coach, haven't they? Dabo
Yeah,
Sweeney's proven that he can get a good program
exactly. Yeah, absolutely. So he'll have a good team around him. He's got a lot of people who are a high amount of draft prospects for next year, actually, and in terms of like really good draft position at this stage of their of things. So they could well be a contender. Whether when it comes up to the big boys of Texas and Georgia and whatnot, we'll see how it goes.
And he's in the. Do you think he's a Heisman candidate? Do you think?
Potentially, yeah, absolutely, potentially. This is the thing. Right? I really enjoy the play of Cade Klubnik. I really like what I saw on tape. I really like the good points of his tape. I love some of the stuff that he was doing. I love some of the kind of, when the mobility works, it works. There are just points that he needs to work on, and then it's the size issue that, I was.
Yeah, it's the size, isn't it? Do you think he's the kind of archetype modern quarterback, a bit of dual threat, but what would you say is what would you hang your hat on with Cade Klubnik?
That's the thing. I'm not 100% sure what I would hang it on. I think his vision is leadership is one. I think his vision's fantastic. I think some of the balls he's throwing, like absolute threading of the ball, like really, really needlepoint stuff. And I think that's one of his real strong points there. But yeah, his leadership, obviously off the field as well. I think people have such high praise about what he is as a character and as a leader. He's a senior. He's going to be 22 years of age when the draft comes around. But yeah, there's so much positive about him. But I was really positive about Bryce Young as well, despite the size issues. And am I scared of being burnt? This is a little bit like what...
He's not as small as Bryce.
He's not as small, no, but he's the smallest out of these guys on here.
Right.
And it's still, 210 is still not ideal.
6'2", 210 isn't...
It's not horrible, tiny. But it's not...
Yeah, lower.
Yeah, it's lower.
Bracket,
like,
yeah.
I mean,
for a comparison, Tannehill was 6'4", 220, so that's a tick above.
Yeah, and like I've got kind of early like percentiles here on Draft Buzz as well. 33 percentile height, 15th percentile weight. It's not ideal. But it's tough. I really like the play of Klubnik, and I think if he improves some of the kind of staying in the pocket and being kind of just a little bit more patient with that, and just kind of just so many little things to work on with his game. I think he can really impress to a first round standard. Just want to be cautious about the size and not get too pumped up into it. If he has a Heisman year, then I'm absolutely all for it, and I don't think the size is going to matter at the end of the day. But yeah, I just want to be cautious on that. But otherwise, I really do like what Cade Klubnik brings.
I didn't mind the size, I'll be honest. I think 6'2", 210. Bearing in mind Nussmeier, who we're going to speak about next week from LSU, is 6'2", 200. So
yep.
that just seems to be that.
That's going to be another. I'm going to bring up the same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
I mean, quarterbacks in the modern era aren't necessarily the 6'5" pocket passers of yesteryear. So that's fine. I think escaping the pocket early, I agree. That's a big area for development for him. We talked about the deep passing accuracy, and I don't think his arm is going to be in the top echelon of some of the really big deep arm throwers. I think Klubnik is more of your quick release, short, intermediate accuracy kind of guys with elite mobility, explosive acceleration upside. There was a play against South Carolina. It was 2nd and 6, about 14 yards out. Pressure came around the side of the pocket. A gap opened up centrally. The linebacker was slightly wider than perhaps he should have been. And Klubnik went through that gap that was created in the middle of that line and the middle of that defense like a knife through butter. You didn't even blink and he was already over the touchdown line. It was fantastic. He's good with kind of run pass option stuff as well, self-scoring touchdowns. Obviously, you mentioned the Appalachian State game. You've got to go watch that tape, I would say, when you're looking at this guy.
It's pretty great, yeah. It's a really fun watch, that one.
The first run against App State was good. The second one was even better. The explosiveness on the second run was just bang, he was gone. I think he dissects coverage really well. I think he throws well, taking into account zone depth of defenders. I think he can kind of get the ball between the linebacker and the safety, or at least put it at an awkward depth for the safety to defend. So I quite like the way he does that. I think his mechanics in the pocket, especially when he's under pressure, are something to keep a real close eye on. I think when we talk about his deep accuracy, I think that's the problem. He's not getting his footwork set. I think when his footwork is set, his shoulders are set, he can be that pinpoint needle threading accuracy. I think that's a fantastic comment, and I think that's exactly what he does. But when he's not fully set, he takes a number of quite risky throws when his receiver's in tight coverage, and he has the confidence to do that. I think he's got an awareness of pressure, and I think he's got quite a solid O-line in front of him most of the time. But I think when he is under pressure and has to rush, especially when he's throwing deep, that's when his mechanics can fall apart a little bit. So that's the thing I really want to see him work on in 2025. But yeah, he's a really exciting prospect. He's definitely, looking at if he was to have come out now, that you could argue definitely that he should be in contention for a first-round pick. I really want to see how he does this year. I'm going to try and watch a lot of sort of some of these teams like Texas and Clemson and LSU, Penn State. I'm going to watch more of those games if I can, and see what some of these guys are doing. But yeah, really liked Cade
South Carolina.
Klubnik. Yeah, South Carolina as well. That's another one.
Indiana.
Norris Sellers. Yeah.
The other point I had on Klubnik was, and maybe this is something that I probably need a Galv or somebody to watch, but I could only see him doing half field reads. I don't know if he's kind of fully reading the field laterally left to right. I think he's kind of reading 2-3 options, sort of middle of the field to right or middle of the field to left, and taking a pass. But his spiral, it's a really tight, fast bullet pass into the zone when it needs to be. It's really quick. It's really accurate. Yeah, a lot to like about him. A couple of things to watch. But yeah, the leadership, the poise, the big game, big moment clutch ability, the football IQ, the quick release. he's got that kind of NFL toolkit ready. Yeah, I'm not as concerned about the size, but yeah, keep an eye on his arm, keep an eye on his kind of trajectory on deeper passes, especially his footwork and his mechanics when he's under pressure. But I don't think he necessarily needs to throw that deep ball as often as he does. I think he can just, with the running ability and just that kind of field management and just picking apart holes in the zones and killing defenses with kind of 6, 8, 10-yard passes. I think that could be the way he's successful. He's got the confidence to be able to do it. I think he just needs to play to his strength, really, rather than trying to throw it deep. I know college football is sometimes a little bit about those kind of speed merchant wide receivers, but they could be a little bit perhaps cleverer. That's not a great pronunciation of that. Be a little bit cleverer with how they use him schematically. And I think if they had like receivers on crossing routes and use that kind of slot receiver, I think this guy could be, defense is looking around going, how the hell are we even going to stop this? They're running the ball, they're passing the ball on a short. I think that's why Clemson are going to be one of the top teams this year.
Yeah, and I think kind of to the benefit of him, they have Antonio Williams, who is like just a technical slot receiver, absolutely magnificent talent on their team that is definitely going to be helpful to Klubnik. So yeah, I think that could play into those strengths that you were talking about there.
Yeah, we tend to think of Clemson as a kind of pretty sort of semi-pro ready offense, don't we? Yeah, it's one of the better kind of QB schools, I would have thought.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. I mean, you just see what's come out of there in the past in terms of at least college prospects. Yeah, just fantastic. Our friend Tom, Steel City, has also chimed in on the Cade Klubnik talk. I'm going to get Tom to give us his thoughts because we always enjoy Tom's thoughts on these prospects. So this is I'll just go word for word what Tom has told me here about it. For Tom, Klubnik is NFL mid. He is your Tannehill, Mayfield, Darnold, or Carr.
There you go.
He will get a QB job, but isn't going to win you playoffs. He's a nice QB who has some dual threat about him, has some major top end speed, and he says he is about the ideal size for an NFL QB. I don't know if I agree with that, but okay. Maybe I'm too concerned about the size thing, potentially. Who knows? But this, so carrying on. When he has a clean pocket, he is one of the best in the class. He has a quick release and goes through his reads well. But his huge weakness is when he is on the run and being pressured. That's when a large amount of his mistakes and overthrows happen. I think I agree with you on that point. So his overall thinking on him: in the pocket, very good. On the move, meh. Rushing, nice if shown the space. And for the upcoming season, needs to improve on consistency, especially on the run. So I think Klubnik's a little bit lower in his kind of estimation than he is with us, but then obviously we haven't seen the other guys in this class, so he could well be pushed down from that. So that's Tom's thoughts on it.
That seems to be quite a consistent eval from all of us. We're identifying the mechanics. We're identifying. I maybe need to look at movement on the run a little bit better. His movement is elite, but throwing on the run, maybe didn't see enough of that on the tape.
His movement downfield is great because I think he's got the vision to be able to pick out where he needs to go. It's just when he's working laterally and he's coming out of the pocket and trying to. At times he escapes pressure really well and he jukes and jives and does really well, but then if he's fully on the run like side to side, that's where the issues lie, and he needs to be more consistent and do a lot of better a job throwing on the run like that. And just
I hate the trope, but you do need that Mahomesian creativity ability, don't you, these days?
You do, yeah. To an extent, yeah. I don't think everybody needs to be Mahomes, do they? But it would help.
Could you tell I hated myself for saying that? But,
I mean, not everybody has to be Caleb.
I tell you, who
Williams
needs to be Mahomes is Mahomes.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Well, there is that, yeah.
But so that's where we are with Klubnik. So we're not going to do the usual +2, -2 on it because we want to kind of compare him to the other QBs in this class as well, and see where we're at
Hey, this is a primer. This is a way too early primer. So this is good.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, as Ket's alluded to, we're going to be talking about Garrett Nussmeier of LSU next week, and then we're going to just kind of go, well, we believe Nussmeier is either better or worse than Klubnik, and then we'll keep going like that for the rest of the QBs in there. But if anybody else out there has watched Cade Klubnik, please do give us your thoughts. How you think he fit, how you think he'll do, going into the season, how you think he might fit with the Pittsburgh offense. But yeah, I think Klubnik could well work his way into being a first round QB for sure.
This is maybe something I was speaking to Mark about. Given our sort of bye week is kind of quite early in the NFL season, but it might be right in the middle of the college season. So once we've kind of looked at these sort of 6 or 7 QBs in the weeks leading up to the NFL season, it probably makes sense for us to have a look at how the college situation is kind of developing, given the Steelers' needs next year, just to kind of keep all of you aware of what's happening on the college side of things, just because it will be such a big decision come the off season. It'd be good to have like a mid-season take of how they're performing.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said, those are the teams I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on. Just to kind of let the listener know, if you want to kind of get ahead of the game and know who we're going to look at here. So as we said, we're going to look at Garrett Nussmeier. I believe the other two that are definitely locked in are going to be Drew Aller of Penn State and Lenoris Sellers of South Carolina. Sellers, who could go back to school, could potentially go back. And then kind of the and erring one is, of course, Arch Manning, because we really don't know what Manning's going to do. I mean, he is being touted as potentially the top prospect in this class, but also there's very little to see. And, he is a prime candidate to go back to school potentially, because there's just been so little of him on tape. But I mean, the stock exchange guys still put him at number one because they think if he does come out, he is just by far. Well, I don't know if by far is right, but he is the best QB out of the lot. So Texas is definitely one that I'm going to be watching just to see because I personally think he'd go back, but if he has a Heisman if he wins the Heisman, I think he'll then say, well, I'm ready for the NFL then. Let's do this. I'll definitely be number one overall. Winning the Heisman doesn't guarantee that, but I think if Arch Manning does it, I think that will pretty much solidify that. So yeah, we're kind of and erring. We might watch Arch Manning. Were there other names out there, Kets, that you could think of?
The UCLA quarterback Nico, what's his?
I am a lever. So
yes,
along those lines. Yeah, he's a potential shout.
Yes.
He's obviously had a controversial off season.
What's happened? Because I know he's got a big arm.
He was it a. I can't remember because he was at. I can't remember the college he was at now, but he had like an issue with NIL, I think, and like there was a whole thing
money
about that.
Money issue.
Yeah, and yeah, then he
was it Arkansas? Something about Arkansas.
Arkansas. Hang on, tap dancing. Well,
Tennessee.
Yes, that was it. Yeah, he was a volunteer. Yeah.
So he was in active contract negotiations with Tennessee regarding a rework of his NIL deal. The next day, he was absent from team practice ahead of the Volunteers spring game, and then it was announced that they'd be moving on, and then he joined 8 days later UCLA.
So I am a lever really did say I am a leaving to go to UCLA. So
yeah. I mean, currently it's a strong class, isn't it? Because we've got Drew Aller, who I think is another guy that
definitely a guy we'll talk about.
Sellers, a dude that's been rising this year.
I think the other guy to kind of possibly look at as well is Fernando Mendoza of Indiana, who was formerly at Cal. I think there's definitely a chance to look at him as well because I think he's being highly touted.
What about Carson Beck? Are we writing him off? Do we like Carson Beck? I
already evaluated Carson Beck because I thought he was coming out.
Right. Yeah.
I'll be honest.
I think I did from memory.
I had him as a -1. So I wasn't high on him. So he's going to have to do a lot at
No,
Miami.
he's kind of seems like a Stetson Bennett type of
Yeah.
Steady.
all these classic guys that are kind of good in college but don't quite cut it at the NFL level.
Yeah.
Feels like that, doesn't it? But
Yeah, I've kind of written him off a little bit. I
who
think
was
he'll
the
be
Georgia quarterback that was a year ago,
that
2 years ago, drafted with the all the taxidermy moose heads on the wall?
oh
Who was
god,
that?
was that Stetson
Do you
Bennett?
remember?
Stetson Bennett, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was.
Was that Stetson Bennett? Was it?
He was the
Think
Georgia
so.
quarterback. Yeah.
With the moose. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I thought-
definitely been farming and hunting and fishing and all that stuff.
Okay, maybe it was Stetson Bennett.
Yeah.
I thought it was someone else.
And then famously got arrested before his first season. Yeah, I suppose the only other two kind of bubble guys I had in my head were Sam Levitt of Arizona State, who we would have seen a bit of with Cam Scatterboo in tape stuff last year. And then a guy who's kind of getting a lot of pop is John.
Jake Fromm, that's who I was thinking of.
Not Jake Fromm. He's not getting a lot of pop.
No, sorry, that was the guy. I was
John
thinking
Mateer, who's just gone over to Oklahoma, has been getting a fair bit of pop. Could potentially be a guy to look out for on there. But they're kind of bubble guys. Sam Levitt's a weird one where I think he's probably the most Marmite QB of the whole lot in this class.
pretty creative. Creative.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly. Yeah, I think there's just some concerns about him. But
So wait to see which side of the fence I go on with that guy, and then go the other.
Well, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Garrett Nussmeier is locked in for next week. That's who we will definitely be doing next week. So yeah, if you want to have a look at him and have a look at some of the other guys and tell us your thoughts, please do.
Yeah, we might try and I'm talking Gav into a job here if he has time. Maybe put some videos out at some stage during the season, just to give you some insight on these guys.
I'd love to, but yeah, time. If someone wants to come in and pay me so I don't have to work, I would love to do that. But unfortunately, work gets in the way.
Yeah, if you're if you're somebody with far too much money and looking at ways to spend it, why not try us? Why not try the UK Sticks
And listen
podcast?
to hour 2 of this podcast. I mean, the chances of that are pretty slim.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, we're 10 seconds away from that, but I think that's probably a good time to wrap it up.
10 seconds away from me getting a massive donation so I don't have to work anymore. Excellent.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
How far ahead? Just how far ahead at this point do you think Arch Manning actually is? He's the clear number one. Do you think?
Well, a lot of people are saying that, and like if you have a look at the kind of the minimal amount of tape that there is out for him, I mean, he does look bloody good. Like you can tell who his uncles are. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I mean, he is poised for a breakout, right? I mean, he's not done it yet, has he? He's not done it. He's shown flashes.
Well, yeah,
and
this
he's
is the
got
thing because he was
bloodlines.
sat behind Quinn Ewers and like just didn't have much of a chance. And then Ewers got injured and Manning came in, and it was not against the
I mean,
greatest.
if you were drafting now, you take Manning first, right? But I think we've seen this before, where a guy comes out of nowhere. Maybe it's a Sellers, or I think an Aller could overtake him, or even an outlier like a Mendoza could leapfrog him. But at the moment, if you're drafting now, I think you take Manning.
The key thing for me is I just don't know if he'll come out. I really think
That's
he
true.
could,
Yeah.
have a season behind him. Think I need a little bit more. Have another season behind him and come out in 2027 when the Giants are begging for a quarterback, and then he'll.
You'd love
the
to
end
see
of
him
it.
with a bit more experience.
Yeah.
But I think you said the Saints. They're bound to take him.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's going to be one of those teams. But imagine Arch Manning as a Steeler if he comes on the way he does. That would just be, that would be heaven. Like if that's why Texas are going to be like
They want a wonder.
if they go all the way, win a national title, and he's a Heisman winner. I mean, it's what a season that's going to be to watch him. But yeah, so I think we've got everything there. I think we're going to have to push the third round draft
I
picks
agree.
because we
I
are.
think that was a good chat, and I think that's a nice cap on the
Yeah,
show.
exactly, and it's already nearly half midnight here, so yeah, it was probably time.
Appetite suitably whetted on quarterbacks for next year.
Absolutely, yes. So join us next week for a little bit of Garrett Nussmeier. I don't know what else we're doing next week, but yeah, we'll let you know as and when we do. But otherwise, check out the show on Twitter at UK Steelers Pod. Follow myself at Mesh NFL. Follow Gav at GM Boomop. Follow Ketz at Ketz UK. Is that right? That is right, isn't it?
Correct.
Second guess myself there for some reason. Always second guess myself. And yeah, obviously you'll be watching the show on YouTube. We don't know when we'll be back on the major streaming platforms. Hopefully it will be soon, but we'll keep you posted on that. But until then, lovely people of YouTube, take care of yourself, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, guys.
Well done, Kets.
I don't think this drop ever ends.
It ends in another copyright strike.
God, it's perpetual hell.